All right, Trey Lance, the last we'll see of him until we see him in actual regular season football, which is exciting to think about. I mean, we've seen him in regular season football before, but, seeing him in more regular season football as a starter, it seems. Let's talk about what we saw with him. There was some good, there was some, I don't even want to say bad, there were just some nitpicks I have. As a whole, I thought he was good. I thought he's played better this preseason. It's kind of been the best I think I've seen him in this preseason, which is good. So let's start off with a good play. It's going to be a 3rd down and 2. It's a cover 1 situation, and sidelines can be open. A good opportunity for a deep shot, perhaps, because with the man coverage, the reality is a deep shot has just as good a chance of getting open as something, underneath or over the middle. Like, watch, as this play develops, Brandon Ayuk was open over the middle, but, Trey Lance already made his decision. I don't really have an issue with that. I think it was a fine read for him to make, to look downfield, especially when, listen, Deebo Samuel, one-on-one. You want to take that opportunity, right? You get that shot down the field, you want to take that shot. So that's the situation, and really, it's all going to come down to how good of a ball is this. And it's good. He puts it right really where he wanted to. Samuel wasn't quite able to haul it in. It was good defense. It is what it is. But a good throw from Lance, that's really all you can ask for, I think, from a quarterback. Give your receiver a chance to make the play. They're not going to make it every time, but they're going to make it sometimes, and that's the goal. I value, a great throw that doesn't result in a catch just as much as I value a great throw that does result in a catch. There was this play, which I've paused right here. I know it's a weird spot. It's one of those situations where sometimes these broadcast situations can be a little tough. It seems like Fox has it down where they never miss the beginning of the play, but I know CBS has had some issues with it. Now this is the, I believe it's Amazon Prime broadcast, which is, interesting. So a little bit, cutting off the beginning of the play, unfortunately, but the way it works, it's going to be a zone coverage play action type play, but watch what happens. Lance takes the snap. He's going to look down the field, and right here, Lance, you got to get rid of the football. This is just something that, the disadvantage of him sitting out so much his rookie year is I do feel like inherently a young quarterback, when you come into the league, your clock is just a little bit slower than it should be because you get more time at the college level than you do at the NFL level. That just obviously makes sense. So because of that, I think Lance could serve to be a little bit more decisive with his throws, a little bit quicker. It's not a huge deal. I think he's better than some of these other young quarterbacks, but it is definitely something I noticed. Got to get rid of football here. Got to make a decision here. I mean, look, he eventually just sort of runs into that. I mean, there's 4 Texans there. You weren't going to be able to run by all of them. He did do some good work in sort of evading pressure at times in this game. I didn't show any of the plays because none of them amounted to anything, but he did do a good job with that. But just, I thought this play was would have liked to see him get rid of the ball a little quicker. Again, like I said, got some nitpicks. This play I liked. I thought this play was good. So what's going to happen here is it's going to be a zone coverage play, and the way it works, run play action, you have that route going over the middle, and since the linebackers will move in with the play action, you kind of throw it, and timing tends to be really important on these routes. It's not necessarily as much about accuracy as it is about throwing it at the right time. Look at how when the play begins, so you see how players do move in. There is a gap where Lance can make this throw. You see this gap. The issue is Lance has to make it really right now. It's a very quick situation where it kind of looks up and has to go now, because if he holds on to it for just a half second longer, the play's not open at all. But he does throw it now. It's a good throw. It's a little bit low, but again, had to get rid of the football quickly, and like I said, accuracy less important, timing more important, so I'm not going to criticize that too much. It wasn't the perfect throw, but it was good enough for the receiver to be able to make a grab, so that stuff is good. Also, a play like this, I would put in the good category. So what's going to happen here is it's going to be a zone coverage play once again, and again, there's a play action. So you see kind of a trend here. This is what Shanahan does, right? He gets teams into zone by his running scheme, which in this case looks like the Texans just want to play zone. They're trying out guys in zone, so that's obviously preseason. You're going to get some simpler coverages, so I'm assuming that's what that is. But still, this is something you want to see how Trey Lance does, and we saw it some again last year, but you want to see more of it against zone coverage. How does he run these play action type plays? The way this concept typically works is it's essentially designed to get 3 San Francisco 49ers players all the way up towards the offense's right. So it's kind of like outside the numbers to the right side of the screen. Maybe not all the way to the outside of the numbers, but close. And the idea is there's a cornerback there, and there's another defensive player who's there, but you only have 2 guys there to defend, 3 eligible receivers, one of them should get open. Typically, it's the middle one that gets open. However, when this play begins, there was an unblocked man off the edge, but he's doing a good job at generating pressure right away for Lance. Lance can't look anywhere else. Lance can't throw it to the middle route, certainly can't throw it to the deeper route. He pretty much has no choice but to just throw it to the shallowest route, which happens to be open, so it's not the end of the world by any means. It's a difficult throw, though. You're off balance. You're kind of throwing, almost like it's one of those basketball shots where you're going backwards, but, this is what you have to do sometimes. And as you see, Lance does make a throw. It is able to be a completion, and they pick up some yards. Is this a highlight reel level play? No, but what are we wanting to see with Lance? We're wanting to see Lance run Kyle Shanahan's offense. We know he can add other stuff that Jimmy Garoppolo can't. We know he can move around. We know that you can design run plays through him, all of that stuff. What you want to see is stuff like this. Also, this play cracked me up. It's not really a big deal or anything, but you see Lance, he's going to be kind of blocking for a second. He thinks about blocking. Trey Lance, buddy, appreciate the effort. Do not block in the preseason. You're the star quarterback. You do not do that. You sit down. If the play comes your way, you hide. That's what you do. You're the quarterback. I get it's 4th and 2, but it's the preseason. It doesn't matter. Just kind of something I thought was funny. Hey, shows how much he likes football and wants to win, but maybe not the smartest play, but a fun one. So yeah, I thought that he played well. I thought that this was a good preseason for Trey Lance as a whole. Trey Lance, one of those guys who I thought that he played okay last preseason, but I thought he was a little bit sloppy at times. There were things he had to clean up, and I didn't notice any of those issues this preseason really at all. Getting the right touch on the ball was a huge issue last preseason. I haven't really seen that much at all this preseason. Maybe a couple things you could point to, but if it wasn't a narrative already in my head, there's nothing I would have even pointed to. No one would have even brought it up. And even if you do bring it up and are looking for it, it's not. I saw like 1 or 2 plays this preseason where I'm like, maybe. So that's great. Maybe it's just coincidence, and maybe that still is an issue. But I'm more likely to believe that it's at least reason for optimism. Preseason's always hard because there's just an inherent small sample size when evaluating these guys, but he just looks a little bit cleaner, and I think it's, again, it's exciting because as long as he can just run the offense, which it seems like he's doing a solid job of in the preseason and did a solid job of in the regular season, we just hope that, you do that, and then you can have the sort of added stuff that you can bring that Garoppolo can't, so should be exciting. But yeah, that's what I thought of Lance in this preseason. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.